Mic check 1 2. So I'm still sorting through the collection, but I was going over some of my Switch games because I did sell a bunch this weekend, and I thought it would be good to share some news with all of those who follow the channel. I don't think right now is the best time to start buying Switch games if you're a collector. If you're looking for rare Switch games, or if you're looking for Switch games that maybe were early releases that you didn't get a chance to pick up, now might not be the best time to pick them up. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the Switch prices are dropping. Like, Switch games that were historically pricey are now losing a lot of value. And I just kind of wanted to go over a few of the Switch games in my collection that have lost value. I would say probably since the pandemic, or since maybe around the beginning of 2022. So these games right here all were roughly around $100, and they've taken some big hits. So the first one is going to be Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. I had downloaded this game and was playing it because I had gotten my copy sealed and I didn't want to open it, because at the time that I got this, Monster Boy was going for over $100. Monster Boy, now I didn't pay that for this. I can't remember because this was years ago, but I know that at one point Monster Boy was going for over $100, and I think now it's sitting somewhere between 60 and 70 bucks. I've even seen it go for as low as 40. And this is a pretty good action platformer, right? This is an action platformer. It was critically acclaimed for its like hand-drawn graphics and just the gameplay and, you know, the whole concept. This one was a popular one. I liked it. While I do think the graphics are cool and I do like the whole hand-drawn graphics bit, I'm more of a sprite guy myself. I'm more into the sprites, but this is a pretty cool alternative. But again, this one has dropped a lot, and I know this was one that people were really looking for a while. So be on the lookout for this if you were interested in Monster Boy, but at the time you were looking for it, it was just way too expensive. You can probably pick this up now at a decent price. So this is definitely one. Another one would be Oceanhorn, Monster of Uncharted Seas. Now, they actually, I think Limited Run released Oceanhorn 2, and I didn't pick up the second one yet. I was thinking about picking it up. I had the first one, or I have the first one, and again, this was another $100 plus game about 2 years ago. Oceanhorn was very expensive. It was one of the most expensive Switch games in my collection. And it has since dropped as well. Oceanhorn now is pretty much standard price. I think you can pick this up for like 50 bucks, maybe 50, 60 bucks. Not super expensive at all, and you have an opportunity to enjoy the game. But this is another one, like I said, same thing I said about Monster Boy. If you haven't had a chance to play this, or if you never got a chance to pick this up, now is your chance to pick this up for a reasonable price. As opposed to what it was costing a couple years ago when it was going for over $100. So I would definitely be on the lookout for Oceanhorn as well. Fury. Now, Fury is another one. Fury, I remember Fury being like 150 bucks at one point. Fury was up there. I would say like around the time of the pandemic, Fury again was one of my more expensive games. This game was over 150 bucks at one point because it was one of the first limited run games that released on the Switch. What number is this? 14, right. So this was the 14 limited run release of the games that they were releasing when they first came out. And this is one of the OG limited run games. And Fury is super fun. This is not a boring game at all. I don't know how fun Oceanhorn is, because I don't think I ever got a chance to play that one, honestly. I did play Monster Boy. That one is pretty fun, but I played the hell out of Fury. And this is a very fun game, boss rush battle game. It's a combination. It combines everything I love. It's hack and slash. It's a shoot 'em up. It's a bullet hell shooter. You can do combos. All types of stuff in this game. I like it. I think it's pretty cool, but again, this one has dropped. Now you can get Fury, I think, on the Switch for 50 bucks, and you can probably, I've seen this go for $39.99 on the PlayStation 4. So if you really want to see what Fury's about, you want to get a physical copy, you want to play the game, now is going to be a good time to look into Fury. Just because it's so cheap. And this is a very good game. I'm surprised this game isn't talked about. Well, I mean, it's super old now, right? Like it's been out for a long time, so I don't expect people to be putting out new content based on Fury, but this is a very good one. I'd be on the lookout for it if you have not had a chance to add this to your collection yet. Another one that was super popular when I first started collecting for the Switch, Code of Princess EX. Now, Nicalis is funny because there were a number of different game manufacturers on the Switch, and there were a few that I really liked. Red Art Games I like, Nicalis I like, UFO I like, Limited Run obviously I like, Strictly Limited I like, and then there are a few others, game companies that release pretty good games on the Switch, but Code of Princess was one of the Nicalis games that I definitely wanted to get. Nicalis had a lot of games that they tried to like make limited. Like Nicalis was kind of like Limited Run, but they weren't really limited, but you had to like get some of their games from their website. And I remember when Code of Princess came out, because it was like this like 3D kind of side-scrolling hack and slash, it's kind of like, it's got that whole Guardian Heroes vibe, but like more so new age. And it's a multiplayer beat 'em up RPG. So if you've ever played Guardian Heroes for the Sega Saturn, that's this game here. Guardian Heroes is probably my top. That's definitely up there. In terms of beat 'em ups, period, not just Switch beat 'em ups, but beat 'em ups all time. Guardian Heroes is one of the sickest beat 'em ups on the Sega Saturn. For sure. Another sick beat 'em up, if you never heard of it, Three Dirty Dwarves. You got to check out Three Dirty Dwarves. Three Dirty Dwarves and Guardian Heroes are the reason why I own a Sega Saturn, along with Batman. Batman Forever, but on the Sega Saturn, is a really sick beat 'em up. So I suggest you check those out. But anyway, back to the Switch. Code of Princess EX. This one was, I would say, roughly around 120, 130 at one point at its peak. Was what it was going for. Now, this is probably a $70 game. You could pick this up. But this is a ton of fun. Don't sleep on Code of Princess. And the thing that I love about Nicalis games is that they always come jam-packed with a bunch of stuff. You didn't need to get this goofy special edition to get like the stickers and the keychain and all the extras. They pack all of that stuff in here, as you can see. So that's what I like about Nicalis games. They jam-pack this little case with all the goodies, and that's how all Switch games should come. But we can only hope. All right, another one that has dropped, Raiden 5. So this one was really, really pricey. Once these sold out at like Best Buys and most retailers, and you couldn't like find this in the stores, it like immediately skyrocketed on the internet. Like this thing went from being like $34.99 one day to being like $110, and I just didn't understand why. And I knew that it was because like this version comes with a bunch of goodies inside. Again, this is the director's cut. It does have a bunch of good stuff in there. But this is also a really cool shoot 'em up. This is a really classic space shooter on the Nintendo Switch. And they've released a number of renditions of this game. And I think they've even put Raiden 4 and 5 in a combo pack on one. I don't know if it's on one cart, or I don't know if there's two carts in the case, but I know they've re-released this a number of times. But this original release, Raiden 5, the director's cut, when this first dropped, or actually when this first sold out in stores and then, was just pretty much, the only place you could get it was online, that was when this one shot up. But it's since come back down to earth, and I think now you can get this, like I said, roughly around $60, $60, $70 for this one. This is a good shooter on the Switch. If you're into space shooters, I would definitely pick it up. I like this game. I played it. I don't know if it's better than R-Type Final 2. You can let me know down in the comments which one you think is better. Both classic games, but I kind of like R-Type Final 2 better. And then we have the last one. This one is actually rare. This is Assault Android Cactus. Now, this is one of the games from Super Rare. And I think this, too, was also an early Super Rare release, which is why this is one of the few Super Rare games that are actually, that still have some value. This is number 28. So this isn't the earliest release, but this is one of the earlier releases because Super Rare's released a lot of games. Like I know, I'm just going to look at one of these here. Like if you look at Flynn is number 60. What is that 66 or 99? I think that's 66. Am I reading this upside down? Flynn, Son of Crimson, is that 99 or 66? I think it's, number 66. There you go. So that just goes to show you, this was kind of like earlier in the life cycle. Let me see what release number is Inmost. Inmost is 51, and Haiku is probably the more recent one. Okay, so 94. So number 94. So Haiku is probably one of the more recent Super Rare games. But Assault Android Cactus, when this came out, this was sick. This is kind of like a twin stick shooter here. And it plays a lot like Cannon Spike. If you've ever played Cannon Spike on the Dreamcast, only on the Dreamcast, it was kind of whack because you really only had one analog stick. Whereas with the Switch, you can get two. I guess if you're playing with the Joy-Cons, you can use two analogs and get going with this twin stick shooter. But Assault Android Cactus Plus was one of the more expensive ones on the Switch. But it has since dropped. I don't know why. It could just be that Switch game prices are dropping in general. I mean, I have noticed that with a lot of the games that I just showcased here. I mean, most of them have dropped between 30 and 40% in value. So if you don't care about value, you just want to play the games, easiest thing to do would be to download it. But if you do want a physical copy and a physical version of some of these games, now might be the best time to pick them up. Not these games, because these games are never going to lose their value. If anything, I think the value for Raiden, Inmost, and Haiku are probably going up steadily because those are really cool games. Even Flynn is increasing. These are games that are going up. But these ones that I mentioned down here, well, Xeno Crisis is still pretty expensive. This is still a $200 game. But these down here are definitely losing their value. And let me know what you've seen. I have an app called GameEye, and it kind of keeps me up to date with the value and the pricing of my games. So that's kind of how I know the full value of my collection or some of the things that I have. But let me know what you've seen. Do you have Switch games that are losing value, or are more of your Switch games going up in value? I'm interested to know. I am the Y2K Collector. It's been an eventful weekend. Hopefully you got out. You got to do something fun. Tomorrow starts a whole new week. We're back to the grind, and hopefully the week treats you well. Thanks for stopping by again. Take it easy.